Hi folks, it's good to see each and every one of you once again. Welcome to another edition of the Three Things That I Learned This Week video. How is every one of you doing? I trust you all are doing well. I'm super excited as usual to be here again to bring God's words to you, and I know you are super excited also to hear what God has got for you today. And if this is your first time of visiting us on this channel, this is a channel where we bring God's words that elevate, words that build, and I can assure you at the end of the day, your life will never remain the same again. And also, if you have not done so, make sure you subscribe to our channels on YouTube. Follow us on all of our social media platforms that will be appearing on the screen right now. At the end of this video, please give this video a like. We want to get as many likes as we can, but most importantly, share this content. We want you to share and be a blessing to as many people as you can. Once this video becomes a blessing to you, we want you to spread the words around and let God bless as many people as you can reach. And as usual, my name is Ayodeji Onifade, and here are the three things that I learned this week. Before I begin to go into the things I learned this week, it's a special week for me in my life. This is my wedding anniversary week. So yeah. Some of you are clapping for me right now. Some of you are saying, yeah, of course, yeah. It's something. It's 11 years. I mean, how time flies. Yeah, I still remember when I made that vow in the presence of God and in the presence of families and friends. And 11 years down the road, it's been a remarkable journey. It's been a journey in which God Himself has worked with us. So, and it's only natural for three things I learned this week to talk about three top things that I've learned in 11 years, or the three top things that have helped me or that I've learned in marriage, or God has opened my eyes to in marriage, so that it can help those of you who are married, who are early in your marriage, or who are about to get married, so that you know what you are going to. And also, before I go into, please help me in the comment section below to celebrate my wife. I want you to say good things about her, thank her on my behalf. Please, I'm begging you, celebrate my wife for me. All right. So, the first thing I want to talk about, especially for my wedding in the last 11 years, the first thing I want to talk about, or the first thing that is important that I've learned in this last 11 years, is that you love your partner the way they want to be loved. Yes, love your partner the way they want to be loved. When you get married, at different stage, at different season in your marriage, there are different things that you will learn, different things that will be exposed to you, different knowledge that you will come into about your partner and life in general. In the last 11 years, we have gone through several stages in our marriage. Last year I talked about something else that I learned. You keep learning on a daily basis. And I've also discovered that when you are married to someone, every person has a way they want to be loved. Everybody has a way in which they expect to receive love. The onus is on you as a partner to love your partner the way they want to receive love. I didn't understand this. I thought I had this intention or ways in which to express or to give my love to my wife, but I forgot that she's a human being. She has these things and ways she expects to receive love too. But that's some of the mistake a lot of us make sometimes. We want to give or love someone the way we know how to, but sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to accept it. So we have to find out the way in which the other person wants to be loved. Take, for example, my wife. She's not so moved when you buy gifts. It's not like she doesn't like gifts. You can buy her gift, and she not, she like words also that you encourage her. You say all those words and beautiful words to her. But I discovered in the course of the journey that what actually moves my wife the most is when you give her a helping hand. She's the kind of woman that likes to do anything and everything. She's like a one-woman battalion. She can literally go on until her battery is dead. And I meant that literally. But because she does that, sometimes I take that for granted. I want to do things or love her the way I feel she should be loved. But most of the time she'll be like, look, I don't need you to buy me stuff. It's not like she's not saying don't buy me stuff, but she's saying that when you see me doing this thing, before I tell you, give me a hand. And I discovered the days and the times that I do those things, she becomes so happy and she's become so much alive. And I find out that we get the best of time during those times that I'm giving out those help. So you need to find how your spouse wants you to love them. For some, it's buying gift. To some, if you help them, fine. It's not like they don't appreciate it, but it doesn't make so much meaning to them. Some women or some men like you to give them gift. If it's gift, find them and love them that way. Some people are not. They need your words to feel secure. They need you to tell them, "Oh, look, you're doing well. Oh, well done. Oh, I love you every day. Oh, if that's what your spouse needs, give it to them. Some it's taught. They need you to feel safe in your hand. When there's a problem, they need a hug. They need you to hold them. So, whatever it is, find that thing. Find the way your spouse needs to be. Because if you are loving them the way you expect to give them, or because you like certain things, you naturally or believe that your wife or your husband will feel the same way, you might be dead wrong. So you have to study and understand how your partner wants to be loved. And when you do that, you'll find that your relationship or your marriage will begin to grow. So a lot of time, like I said, the mistake we make is that we want to love them the way we know how to. But remember, it's not about you. Marriage or any relationship is about giving. And most of the time, to bless someone, you have to give them what they need. And when you identify how your partner wants to be loved and you love them exactly the way they want to be loved, and then they reciprocate that to you and they love you exactly the way you want to receive love. It's just like when somebody gives you something you need. It helps you if you're in need of something and somebody gives you something you don't know. It's not like you don't appreciate that thing, but you'll be like, oh yeah, you probably throw it somewhere and not use it. But if somebody gave you exactly the same thing you are in need of, we both know how that feels. It's like God sent exactly the way it is in giving love and in marriage. When you love your partner exactly this way they want to receive it, I can assure you things will turn out for the better. And the second thing that I want to talk about is communication. We cannot remove communication from marriage. As obvious as that may seem, you will be amazed that a lot of couples do not communicate. And when I say communication, I'm not just talking about them talking at home, having some kind of everyday kind of talk, but I'm talking about communication. Effective communication says that the next person that you are communicating and receive the message exactly the same way you pass it across to them. But it beats me that in marriages today, couples don't communicate. They don't communicate at spiritual level. They don't have the same idea about what they want. There is a lot of assumption. People make a lot of assumption in marriage. The wife is assuming that, oh, my husband should know this. The husband is also assuming that the wife should know this. And I will give a classic, even in my own marriage, there are times in our life that we were making a lot of assumptions. Take, for example, like I said at the first time, my wife always expects that I give her a helping hand. But most of the time, my wife will leave something undone, expecting that I would take charge of it and I would do it. But I wouldn't do that. I'll be like, oh, she got it. She's going to do it. And in the process of that, it created a lot of tension because we did not effectively communicate that until we started communicating like, look, the reason why that is left on because I want you to do that, I expected it, but I'll be like, tell her, but you should have told me to do it. So right now, because we have communicated, I know some of the things that she wants, and because of that, I'm able to do those things that she expects me to do. So please, what is going to effectively move your relationship or your marriage forward is effective communication. You got to talk about everything. Don't assume that your husband knows. Don't assume that your wife knows, or don't assume that your partner knows. Communicate. If you want something, tell them that this is what I want. Once you tell them, it will help them or guide them to be able to move closer to you on the next, or to help you on that certain issue that you want help from. Communication is key. Even with our God, there is no relationship with God without communication. God communicates with us, and we also communicate. Any relationship, if you guys don't communicate, if you're not on the same page, it's going to be a lot of trouble. I can't see any relationship that will work without effective communication. This is not just about talking and greetings and saying the everyday thing. I mean, I'm talking about understanding each other, and understanding can only come from the place of communication. Even with our relationship with God, like I said, communication is key. But do you guys talk? Do you guys talk about your dreams? Do you guys talk about your aspiration? Do you guys talk about finance? Do you guys even talk about love making? You have to communicate. If your husband or your wife is not doing the things you want, let them know. Some women just expect, you need to know that you should touch me in this way, you should touch me in that way. No, you can't assume. You have to communicate. Sometimes people do things out of honesty and ignorance. Sometimes they don't know, but if you don't tell them, you're just going to keep hurting yourself. Like I always say, between a husband and wife, there is no winner, there is no loser. You're not trying to prove anything. If there's something that you are going through that you don't like, you have to communicate to the other person. I find on several occasions that my wife was hurting and she expected that I would know that she's hurting, or that the things I was doing was hurting her, until she communicated that to me. I'll be like, I didn't know that you didn't like that. I thought like you were okay with it. And I'm sure some of you are already nodding your head, agreeing with me right now. Yeah, that's true. So communication is going to be very, very, very key if you are going to be successful in your marriage. So please make sure you up your communication level. Don't assume. Assumptions has killed a lot of marriages. It has killed a lot of relationships, especially for women folks in Africa. When you do something, you keep quiet, be like, yes, I'm not supposed to talk. No, that is killing your marriage, and especially it's killing you. Speak up. If you are feeling hurt, speak up. If your spouse is doing something that you don't like, speak up. If you want them to do something to make it better, speak up. Communicate. You'll be amazed at the level of incentive and greatness that you will get when you communicate to your partner. But if you don't say anything, you don't have the chance of them knowing the things that you want. So make sure the next time, or in your relationship right now, make sure you communicate. Some of you have a lot of things that you have kept in your mind that you need to communicate with your partner. I challenge you today that you go ahead and communicate them. And the third and the final thing I want to talk about is that you need to work on intimacy. Wow, you need to work on intimacy. Also, again, you will feel like this should be a natural thing that should happen in a marriage, that a marriage couple should be intimate together. But I have discovered that intimacy takes a lot of work. You have to be intentional about getting intimate with your spouse. And when I talk about intimacy, the first thing that comes to people's mind is that sex. Yeah, sex is just only a fraction of what intimacy is. Sex is supposed to culminate. It's supposed to be the end. It's supposed to be the crescendo. It's supposed to be like the last thing the result of process of intimacy. But what we do, that people just think it's all about sex, and when they have sex with their partner and they still find out that they're not intimate, they're still far away, they're not as close as they should be with their partner. And that's why intimacy is not just about sleeping with each other and having sex, but intimacy is about knowing your partner, investing in them. And one of the ways that one way you can be intimate with your partner is when you spend time with them. You have to spend time with them. You have to be with them. You have to be available. You cannot be intimate with someone you are not available to. Even in our relationship with God, God said, draw close to me and I will draw close to you. The more time you spend with God, the more intimate you become. The more he exposes himself to you, the more he will begin to show you things, signs and wonders. The same thing with our spouse. The more time you spend at home, the more intimate you guys become. I know some of you are saying that, but I work far away from my husband or my wife. We don't live in the same city. We don't live in the same country. How can we be intimate? Look, sometimes intimacy or spending time does not necessarily have to do with proximity. You can be far apart from each other and always still, be intimate. The world is a small place now. It's a small village. Like they say, you have the phone, you have technology. Technology has made things a lot easier. Don't let a day go without communicating with your life, without speaking about each other, without expressing your feelings to each other. And that leads me into the second thing of how you can get intimate: when you speak your feelings to that person. And when I'm talking about expressing your feelings to them, it's not what is hurting you, it's not what you want, it's expressing how you feel about them to them. You have to tell your partner, your wife, your husband, how they make you feel. Tell them, oh, they are the love of your life. Oh, you are this. Yeah, you make me feel good. What you did last night, took me to the top of the world. And when you express how you feel about them, or how they make you feel to them, that brings you guys closer. So, but one thing I also want to say about intimacy is that intimacy takes intention. You have to be intentional about it. You have to make sure that you are looking out for your partner. You want to make them happy. Cuddle cuddle a lot, spend time together, go to the movies together, watch movies together, wash plates together, cook together, sleep at the same time, talk about your day. And in the process of doing all those things, you become closer because that person will naturally express themselves to you. I find a lot of couple today that they can't talk to their spouse, they can't express their deep feeling to their spouse, and that's why they go out to express it to someone else. You don't want that to happen in your relationship. And if you want to build trust and intimate, and closeness in your relationship, you have the two of you have to come together intimately. And that's why intimacy is so important. You will find out that it's very pathetic that even in this time and age, couples are not intimately connected together, even though they live under the same roof, they see each other every day, and they even make love, but intimacy is far away from them. Intimacy means that the first person that you run to when anything comes to your mind, that you are safe in their hand, that you have revealed everything, that even some non-verbal communication, when that person sees you, they can tell what is wrong with you. That can only happen when you have reached certain level of intimacy with them. So those are the three things that I've learned, not this week, in 11 years of my marriage. And I hope this video has blessed you. Please, if this video has blessed you, make sure you give this video a like. We want to get as many likes as we can. Share this video, make it a blessing to all other couples in the world. As many couples that you know. And like I said at the beginning, please leave a comment section in the comment section below to help me celebrate my wife. Please, that woman has been a blessing to me, and she has blessed my life. If you see me looking good, looking all this robot, it's because of that woman. So please help me celebrate my wife in the comment section below. I will appreciate it. God bless you as you do that. Also, make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms that will be appearing on the screen. Follow us on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Instagram. As you do so, the Lord will bless you. Until next time, like I always say, never stop learning and only be that which God wants you to be. Peace out.